this one of the scariest moments I've had ever traveling. And so there's a long lead up, but long story short is that we decided, instead of going directly to where my family is and having them pick us up from a train station, we decided that because my friend didn't want to stay in a hotel and pay 70 euros, because he's like, why we're gonna just stay in a hotel in Florence and sleep 7 hours, because we got there at 11. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? He goes, we'll go to Padova right now. We'll get in later, and we'll find a hotel there, and then we'll surprise them. And I'm like, okay, let's just go. So we get on the train from Florence to Padova, and on the way there, we're in the middle of writing our like journals that we were keeping during that trip, and we're like, shit, we're not going to get in until 1:30. Like, all the hostels are going to be closed, and this is 2003, 2004. So there is no iPhone. Like, I can't even go online. Like, we have a Lonely Planet guide we're carrying with us, and so we get into Padova and we look around, and it's dark. It's dark everywhere. We don't know where we are. There are no Google Maps. And so we're like, you know what? Let's just sleep in the train station. And so we're like, okay, but it started pouring rain, and they closed the train station. So they're like, guys, you need to get the fuck out of here, the police officers. And we're like, okay. So we covered our backpacks up. We took out our ponchos. We're walking around. My first idea was like, let's go find a church and see if we can wake somebody up. I'm going to go sleep in a church. And it's like, okay. So we start banging on the doors. Church is all empty. They want nothing to do with us. I guess you got to be like a young boy to get someone to let you in. I don't know if that's how it works. But we find one hotel, and they're like, that'll be 130 euros. And I'm like, I'm in. I don't give a shit. My friend's like, I'm not paying 130 euros. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're walking then. And then so all the way up to here was his fault. And then moving forward, it becomes mine, because we're walking, and we're walking. It's I don't know, 3 a.m. now, and we find a courtyard inside an apartment building where there's a nice patch of grass that we could sleep on the grass. And he's like, let's just stay here. And in the morning, we'll find a taxi and we'll figure this all out. We both know we're fucked now. And I'm like, you know what? No. I go, because you know what? I think that we can walk from Padova to Castelfranco and we can be there at 8 a.m. and we can at least surprise my parents. I thought we could walk 3 hours with these backpacks and make it. But the reason why I'm so stupid is that from Padova to Castelfranco is like a 40-minute drive. And I thought that we could just walk it. So we're walking. Our backs are killing us. We found a shopping cart. We put our backpacks in. We're walking with these things. Like the night is getting dumber, and we don't even know how dumb it's getting. At some point, we're at a gas station, and we're just sitting down because we're so mentally and physically exhausted. And we're sitting down, and all of a sudden, a car pulls in. And we're sitting down on this stoop, and the car pulls in. There's two guys, and they're looking straight at us. And the lights are basically on us. And I have my glasses on at that point. I was wearing glasses. I was like, and the guys, they look at us in the car and they take off. And we're like, okay, that was weird. And we're just standing there still. And then they come back again. And one guy gets out of the car and he goes, where are you guys from? Because he sees us with our backpacks. And I'm saying in the best Italian I had at that time was like, oh, we're from Castelfranco. We're just going see our cousins. We're just walking through. And the guys just stop. They don't say anything. And then they drive away again. And at that point, we looked at each other and we're like, okay, this just got a little bit more scary. So like, he pulls out like a Swiss Army knife. I have like a corkscrew between my fingers. Like I'm going to try to pop somebody in the eye. And we keep and
if shit hits the fan, I'm going to open a bottle of wine.
Yeah. My last rites. And so we're walking, and then 10 minutes later, we see the car come back again. And this time they're on the other side of the road, and they're staring us down. And so there was a median between the lanes, and so as soon as the car got past the median, I grabbed my friend by his backpack and I told him, let's cross the street. So they can't actually pull the car in front of us, and we'll have a chance to just fucking get out of there. And so we crossed the street. They passed us again, staring at us, but they knew they couldn't cross that big median. And as soon as they went over the bridge, then I told them, let's cross back. And we found a little alley. And we ended up sticking inside of an alley, because in the alley, there's a cafe with a window that went through the back alley into the road. So we could see these guys going back and forth looking for us. And so we ended up staying in this alley, and we kind of lost our minds a little bit. Like, because like we weren't sleeping. We were hearing different noises. We were super paranoid. We got maybe like 15 minutes sleep between the two of us, because we wanted to stay alert in case these guys come and find us in an alley and we're backed into a corner. And at 6 a.m., we ended up finding a bus into Castelfranco Veneto, and then we ended up walking again another 45 minutes, which is that was the dumbest part of the whole thing, if I'm being honest. And we got to my aunt's winery that you've been to, and they saw us there at 8 a.m. and they're supposed to pick us up at 11, like an hour away. And they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Like, how did you even get here? And so all I could manage to say in Italian was, we slept on the ground. I need to go to sleep. And then they sent us to our room, and then that was and then they laughed at us for the next week that we were there. But honestly, I don't think I've ever been that scared in my whole life. I'm like, if these guys show up with a knife in this alley, we're gonna have to fight to the death. Like,
Oh man.
it's like this is the equivalent of you guys nearly dying in the woods.
Oh man. You still friends?
Yeah. Yeah. We try not to travel together now, because we'll probably get each other killed.